Yo, what's up? It's Lit Book Reviews back in your live here for another one. This is the podcast where we discuss all things books. I am Henry the Seventh. With me, as always, is George the Third. We're back here for another one. I'm Jesse. This is Andrew, and we're going to talk about all of the fantasy books we read in 2023. We're going to rank them,
slash sci-fi,
put them on a tier list. What?
I said slash sci-fi.
Slash, yeah, we got a couple sci-fi in there, but you know, fantasy, sci-fi, fantasy, whatever. It's only a couple, so yeah, we're gonna tier them all. We're gonna do them S through D, I think. We've got like 20-something books that we read that were fantasy this year. Most of them we read together. We both read them. There are a few that only you read, a couple only I read. But yeah, we're going to rank these bad boys. Like, subscribe, comment your favorite books of 2023 or whatever. Let's get into it, brother. Go ahead and pull that up, Jamie, if you will.
Turn around.
Man, you've been singing this song all day.
I know, it's really wild how stuff gets in your head like that. Be bro.
It's wild, bro.
Wild, bro.
All right, start us off, my guy.
All right, so I say we just try and get them in whatever column, and then after that we can like put them in order. If you know, like once we get multiple in one, then we can go back later and be like, all right, which one do we think is better?
Okay.
All right. So first book we have is The Final Empire, Mistborn.
I'm thinking A, right off the bat.
A is what your heart tells you. I like
A is
A.
what my heart tells me. Okay, cool.
I like A. A feels right. So again, first book in the Mistborn series, heading along the Mistborn train, The Well of Ascension.
I honestly feel the same. I'm not going to lie.
Really? Okay. So first off, should we define what is an S? S tier is like, what is S tier for you?
For me, S tier means, it means like
for sure 5-star?
Shook, like for sure 5-star easy. Okay, that's a good way of putting it. I would still have some 5 stars probably in the A. For instance, both of those I gave 5 stars.
But these are top of A most likely, or at least Well of Ascension.
Yeah, top of A for sure. But S tier is a 5-star, and it's just like even more. Like it's just like perfect in my mind. Like could not have been better. Like was extremely satisfying.
I see.
And it's, you know, especially like, I mean, we'll get to it here in a minute, but like the ending of a trilogy is amazing. And all the books are 5s, like that ending could like potentially be S tier because it's so good. That's kind of how did you see it? Did you see it more as like a 1 through 5 star?
I mean, probably not. I think that's also what I was asking. I mean, S. I feel like you can't put a ton in S because then it like defeats the purpose of S.
Yeah,
so
I agree. Yeah,
but that doesn't also make anything in A not like amazing. So
right.
I think we're on the same page. Honestly, I don't really know anything. It's more of a feel anyway. So
yeah. So you agree with these two so far that they're both A's?
Yes. All right. Let's see if we agree on this one. The Hero of Ages.
It's a S tier for me all day.
Yes. Okay. I think so as well. Just the ending and everything else. So for those who don't know, first book, second book, third book in Era 1 of Mistborn.
Yeah.
All right. Next one. I'm interested to see what you think about this. Dracula. I'm going to be honest with you, man.
It's up high.
It's high.
Like it might.
In a weird way.
It might be as high goes. Like
in a weird way, it might be S tier just because it's like so. I feel like it's just groundbreaking. Like from when it was. I mean, this book was written literally so long ago, and it just holds up so well.
It holds up so well, and like when you're reading it, you realize, oh, this is why this is legendary. It's not just some popular book that's old. Like it is a masterpiece.
I agree.
It is so good.
It's such a quick read. It's also so different. Like it's very unique the way it's written. It's not like, I mean, it's really not like anything I've ever read, which I feel like also factors into.
Sure,
I guess we're saying S tier, right?
And it's so original. It's just there's no way it can be anything. There's no way that anything can be S tier if Dracula's not, honestly. And that might be a bit of a reach, but it's got to be S tier.
I agree. I completely agree. Well, let me tell you something that's not S tier.
this is not S tier, bro. This is
we're probably gonna have different rankings for this, but if I'm putting this somewhere, I'm gonna be honest with you, it's going in D for me. It's C or D. It's definitely honestly, not higher than C for me.
It's definitely not, and my first instinct is to also make it D, to be honest with you. I know that when we reviewed this, which, by the way, all these books, or most of these books, you can find a review for on our channel if you're interested in a more in-depth review. But you read this one this year. I read it a little while back. Even though I defended it to a degree in our discussion and seemingly liked it more, I still would make it a D on this list just because it's by far the weakest in the series. It's way too long for what it is. Yeah, I mean, it's a D.
I would almost, I mean, again, this is me, I would almost create another category below D for it to go in, but that's also just me. All right, so I have not read Chapterhouse Dune. So, by the way, this is the 4th book in the Dune franchise.
It goes Dune, that we just put in the D's.
Dune Messiah, Children of Dune. I read God Emperor of Dune this year. Jesse's already read, he read the last one this year. So I stopped at God Emperor. And it's going to take a lot for me to continue on. But where do you put Chapterhouse?
So Chapterhouse is definitely 6, right? Better. Yeah, there were supposed to be 7. Frank died, so this is the last published in the series. So it does... It is a bit of a somewhat dissatisfying ending, but it is better than God Emperor. So I would say C.
Okay.
That might change as we get down the list, potentially to a B, but I don't think it makes it just because it's like
as we go.
It really feels this book, and it's hard not to feel this way because you know it for a fact outside of the series itself, but it's hard not to see this as a lead up to what was supposed to be the ending. So it's just not very satisfying. It feels like a lot of like building up for a bigger culmination. Yeah, definitely not a lot of finality. You could find some finality, but there's also something in it that creates this whole unknown element to the series of Dune that, because it's so brief and you get so little of it, it could be seen as an ending because you're just getting into a peak of the final level, if you will, of understanding, but you know that you were supposed to get a 7th book, so it's very frustrating. So I put it at a C. No more time needs to be spent on it.
All right, Blood Over Bright Heaven. What's your original feel? My original feel is B.
Yeah, I agree, man. It's B.
But I feel like it, again, after we've gone over all these, I feel like it'll probably be a high B. Maybe the highest B.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree. And the only... And, we may adjust as we go, but it's just looking at the list how it is, it's hard to put it on par with The Final Empire and Well of Ascension. It's just not as good as that. It's a very good book. Really enjoyed the themes and the way it was presented. I haven't read the other M.O. Wang book, which we'll get to in a second here, but I really enjoyed her writing. But it's not Mistborn levels.
Mm-hmm. It is a standalone, too, so I feel like...
Yeah, for sure.
Sword of Kaigen is for sure an A. I know you haven't read this.
Right.
If it wasn't I've talked about this too on the brief review I have. It's close to S, but like sometimes the writing style is slightly sloppy, and I don't want to say it has a disappointing end because it does have like some closure, but it's also a standalone that leaves you really hanging. This world though is like so S tier. There's definitely elements of this book that are S tier, but I don't. If anything, it's like mid to low A. Is my thoughts.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay.
I'm excited for you to read that one day. All right, Shadow of the Gods. I'm honestly, this is gonna feel blasphemous slightly, but I almost want to say B, if not low A.
Yeah. That's where I'm at too, man. I'm at B. Maybe low A once we get deeper.
Is it better than either of these two for you? No, I'm assuming.
No.
What about Blood Over Brighthaven?
I do like it more in Blood Over Brighthaven.
I think I do too.
Yeah, so I would.
That's fine for now.
Yeah, and I would say so. That's book 1 in the series. I would put Hunger. I would probably put Hunger low A, honestly.
Okay. I'll put Hunger low A. What do I like more? Now this is kind of an on me thing. So Hunger's below these two for you.
Yeah.
I'm assuming this one's probably above this one for you.
I don't know, man, because I don't want to spoil something, but there's different characters in the two books. I won't. Say
that
more.
is true. I'm glad you say that. Yeah, because honestly, I actually like that how it is. For me, I think I'm gonna put it there. Okay. Warbreaker.
Is this Warbreaker? Oh man, it's an A for me, dog. That's an A for me.
Definitely an A.
Dude, it might be.
It's close. I'll honestly let you take the call on this one because this one I feel like is hit more. It definitely still really hit for me, but Light Song, I know. Again, before we get into spoilers, there's just certain characters that are just great.
I'd put it in between the Final Empire and Well of Ascension. I think
right there.
I don't know, man. Is it better than Well of Ascension? I don't know, man. Let's leave it there honestly. And see how it ruminates with us.
I got you. I'm going to go see here. Brian McClellan in The Shadow of Lightning. I think this series has like a lot of potential. And honestly, since reading, I mean, as we're recording this, I'm literally 40 pages away from The Promise of Blood, which is, I mean, A or S for me right now. We'll see how it ends. So, and I think that almost makes this more C. I probably would have put it B until I kind of now see Brian McClellan's potential, and it makes this slightly disappointing for me. But it is still good. But it came out this year. It's the first book in a trilogy, New World. So maybe it gets better. Not bad though. I would still recommend it, but I don't know. It felt kind of YA to me. All right, Sunlit Man.
Dude, I feel blasphemous, but I think it's a C for me, dog.
I think it is too.
I would put it above Chapterhouse. I don't know if you'd put it above Shadow of Lightning. That's your call.
I would not put it over Shadow of Light or in the Shadow of Lightning.
Okay, so I'm fine with that, but it's just, dude, it was not as good as Shadow or Blood. It wasn't. And we're talking about Sunlit Man, book 4 in the Secret Projects for Brandon Sanderson. I thought about this the other day. I think we have, I wouldn't say skewed, but we have a different perspective than a lot of people because it seems like most people really enjoyed this. A lot of people had this as their favorite in the Secret Projects. Yeah. We have not read any other Secret Projects for one thing, but also, at least for me especially, I read all the Cosmere that I've ever read this year. I read all of the Stormlight Archive. I read Era 1 of Mistborn, Warbreaker, both Stormlight novellas, and then this. And this just is not up to par with those for me, so I wonder if, if I had read these books as they were released, for instance, and this was more like... I just don't know if maybe it would have hit different. I don't know, but it's a C for me.
I just don't know how that changed anything, because I feel like normally it's a recency bias that, hits you, and this is the last one we've read. So it's like the opposite of a... I don't know,
and
that's at least how
I am. Not to spoil things for anyone, but there are big implications and stuff in this book that raise it to where if that stuff wasn't in there, it might be a D for me. It's
honestly close, dude. If we haven't read some of these that are up here in A, I mean in S.
Oh yeah, especially that. Okay, these next three, I have not read any of these. Some Joe Abercrombie, man. How does he stack up?
Of the next three, I'm gonna switch these around. So Best Served Cold is for sure the best one, and it's an A. And it's...
Man, you really like that one. I'm surprised you didn't consider S.
It's not S. It's standalone. It is really good. It's definitely not S. I'll definitely stand on that. And I think if I'm going off pure enjoyment, I like it more than Hunger of the Gods and Sword of Kaigen, but it's a close call. This book's really good. It's just a very me. Honestly, this book is just, it hits on a lot of tropes that I really like that I feel like a lot of other people, would probably not put it this high. They'd probably put it, high B, maybe. Whereas I'm putting this middle A, honestly. We'll see. Right. But this one's the best of these. Red Country is the second best one. And it's a mid B. It's below Blood Over Brighthaven. And then The Heroes is a good book. This one's about a war and it's only over a couple days. It's still good. But if you haven't read any of the other Joe Abercrombie, because these are all standalones that come after the first Law trilogy, so you get a lot of cameos from people that were main characters in the previous trilogy, but anyway, they're kind of like little Easter
eggs. So you put it under Sunlit Man?
I don't know, actually. I probably the Cosmere stuff implications just really make Sunlit Man unfair.
Yeah.
And so I'm trying to think of those moments.
If it's that close to Sunlit, you can put it before Chapterhouse, because Chapterhouse is like a mid-C.
Honestly, I think I like the heroes more than dude. I'm confused. I'm gonna leave it here for now, and then we'll pray about it. Because I don't love In the Shadow of Lightning is probably mid-C for me. Honestly, I don't think we have like a high C yet.
Yeah,
we might now.
Fair enough.
Three body problem. I'm gonna let you take this one, and you tell me where you would put it, and then I'll tell you where.
It's really tough because this is a lot different. This is complete sci-fi. Like, this is not. I mean, I guess it's got fantastical elements to a degree, but they're within a sci-fi setting, if you will. I lean A, but it's a low A. I would say.
Is it better than Hunger of the Gods?
That's the thing, is it's not. So it may even just be a high B, because...
What about Shadow of the Gods?
I don't know if I like it more than Shadow, so I'd be fine with it being after Shadow, a high B.
It's better than Blood over Brighthaven, though?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And you know what? I'm going to say it's better than Shadow, actually. I'm going to say it's our number 1B.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm gonna let you have that one. That one's for you.
Where would you put it? Where would you put it? Would it be a D? Low C.
I'd put it below Sunlit. I enjoyed it almost as much as I enjoyed Sunlit Man, because there were elements that I really liked. Like if it had more of the Chinese history part, not to get into spoilers, but that part I really liked, and then the little bit of character development that you get with some of the characters, especially the cop guy. I loved all of those moments. It's just I'm just not. I don't think I'm a sci-fi guy, so it's more like a me thing. I do feel like I realize why people who like sci-fi like it. I just don't think it's my thing.
So you for sure feel that Red Country is better than it, though?
For me, see, I feel biased,
because I would say we should put it, though, in like an average medium point between us, since it's both of us. Like, this is an
so
it's
not
book
better
list,
than
so I would
Shadow of Gods or Blood over Brighthaven. It's not better than Blood over Brighthaven.
Okay, so I would put it after Blood then. Just put it after Blood, because you would have it a C anyway. So having it a mid to low B is fair, as far as us conjoining our opinion there.
I see what you're saying. All right.
So next up is Star Wars Dynasty of Evil. Yeah, I read this. It was the first book I read this year. You did not. This is book 3 in the Darth Bane trilogy. Man, it's tough, man. It's actually really tough, because in comparison to a lot of these books just don't hit near as much. As much as Star Wars is so near and dear to me, and like this series does end in a really, really cool way, like a pretty badass way, that this, Sith Lord story ends. But is it, you know what? I feel that I would put it
Is it better than
in
Sunlit?
a high C. I would have it better than Sunlit.
Okay, this is a good standard. Is it better or worse than Sunlit?
Yeah, I'd have it just better than Sunlit, and it's probably just because of my love for Star Wars and that I really enjoyed the ending. Because it's the final book in a trilogy, so there is some finality to it. But it's really tough to put it up there with. Well, man, I don't know. So now I'm thinking it might be up there with Blood over Brighthaven. Let's just keep it at C. Let's keep it at C.
Is it better than 3
Actually,
Body?
you know what? No, it's not better than 3 Body. So
let's keep it at C. Low B? Okay.
No, let's keep it at C for now. We may reevaluate some things.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
We're about to overload.
Yeah, we're about to load up the top end. So, all right.
So the Way of
First
Kings.
up, Way of Kings. Yeah.
I mean, if we're gonna not put one in S, it's definitely Way of Kings. But it's better, obviously. I mean, this is again.
I would put it
first.
top of the A level. Yeah.
I agree. That's where I would love for that book to be.
Yeah, I completely agree with this. I've already got where I think all these should be in my head. So that's where I think that one belongs, like overall, like with no changes, like nothing should go, in my opinion.
I'm game for that. All right, Words of Radiance, book 2. So again, Way of Kings, first book in Stormlight Archive. Is it better or worse than Hero of Ages?
I mean, it's tough.
Dude, without spoiling stuff, this is very tough because, I mean, the moment at the end, that whole scene at the end, dude. I mean,
it's so tough, man.
I guess the scene at the end of the Hero of Ages is also great.
Yeah, but it's
really
hard
wish I didn't audible the very end of the Hero of Ages.
Yeah, I'm gonna say I will let you decide this one, but I think it's either 1 or 2 where we're at right now.
I'm putting it in 1.
Okay, yeah, I have no problem with it being number 1.
Let's go ahead and do that.
So next up is Edgedancer.
Okay.
So Edgedancer is just a D. I mean,
it's definitely better than God, Emperor of Dune for me.
I'm fine with this rating. I'm fine with it. I'm not going to argue it or even discuss it more.
I really have nothing to say.
What needs to happen is Oathbringer needs to be number 1 on the S tier list.
Oathbringer.
So Oathbringer is just number 1 overall.
It
Next
is.
we got Dawnshard. Okay, Oathbringer. Were you going to say something?
No, I'm fine with Oathbringer being right there. I don't know if there's going to be one that, for me, at least, is above that.
Yeah, no.
Is this better than Sunlit Man?
I think it's better than Sunlit. For me,
I guess it is.
I would be fine with it being right in front of there. I probably
is it better than Dynasty of Evil? It is?
No, I wouldn't. You can put it in front of Shadow if you think it is, but I wouldn't put it in front of Dynasty.
It's really tough for me to buy into the novellas. Even though this one's obviously very important, I don't know.
Yeah, there's just not as much.
It feels like he writes them differently. I don't know why. It just does. Because even when he does
so much shorter,
interludes. But the interludes are very short, and it has a different feel to me for some reason.
Yeah, that's fair.
I don't know what it is. I think I'm biased. All right, Rhythm of War. I'm not going to lie, dude. Wow, the ending of this is insane. I would almost say Rhythm of War is top A.
Yeah, that's where I had it in my head, was right in front of Way of Kings.
Okay.
I mean, that's just for me where I had it.
So you liked Hero of Ages more than Rhythm of War?
Yeah, man. I mean, dude, the ending of Hero of Ages had my cheeks soaked, bro. Like my face cheeks. Let me just go ahead.
Interesting. Okay.
Dude, I hate that I just couldn't have said it a different way.
Man, that's a shame you don't edit these videos, brother. Man.
Dude, the end.
Dude, I'm going to start the video.
Of Hero of Ages had me crying. Please don't, dude.
That's so good. Dude, it's just, I understand that, but also the thing I posted on Reddit, I mean, dude, that moment to me hit way harder for some reason. And then obviously the very end is insane.
End, bro. Yeah, it's insanity. I would not argue putting it S tier. I'm just saying I'd be fine with it being there. I'd be fine with it being low S.
That hurts me to do. All right.
Where would you put it? Would you put it above Hero of Ages?
See, I would personally, but again, I just feel like maybe this is because, I don't know. I think if I would have read it, I think this would still be S tier for me. Because it is.
Hero?
Because I was like 50-50 on reading and audibling this. So, and that's just unfortunate. Because I'm never going to go back and be able to have this moment again. And I read all of this book. Like, I read all of, the Stormlight Archive. I don't know. It's just the gravity of these books feels so much heavier for some reason. I mean, obviously it's because of the page count. I mean, because this right here is the culmination of,
Rhythm of War. Yeah.
Yeah.
But see, that's why for me, Hero of Ages is just, it's the end of that era, of that trilogy. And the ending was just so good to me. It's hard for.
Is Dracula?
Here's the reason why. Yes, and here's the reason why.
Okay.
Here's the reason that really, for me, still Rhythm of War is probably just an A tier. Top A, number 1A, but I'm not going to spoil it, but a particular arc in Rhythm of War sucks. It just sucks.
Yeah.
Like, that just is what it is. There's an arc in Rhythm of War that, as good as it still is compared to a lot of things, it's the worst arc in the entire Stormlight Archive. So
that's fair.
For that reason alone, it can't be like Oathbringer, bro. Bro, there's not a paragraph in Oathbringer that doesn't belong in that book. Like, there's not. And same with Dracula. Like, Dracula being on the bottom end of S tier, there's still not a thing in Dracula that should be different. Like, it's a masterpiece. And that's how I see S tier.
Yeah, I really am.
Yeah. All right, so that's the Cosmere wrapped up. Yeah.
Lord of Chaos.
I did not read
book
this.
6 in the Wheel of Time. I read this January, I believe. This is the last Wheel of Time book I've read, and Jesse and I are going to read Wheel of Time this year, so I can't wait for us to be able to discuss this. I think it's high B. The ending of this is insane. You want to talk about those stuff that is in books that's not necessary? I mean, Robert Jordan is the king of unnecessary, so I'm curious for you to read him. All right, something that really started off well, and we've read the first four Murderbots. I couldn't even tell you the names of what they are because that's how meaningful they were.
First one's All Systems Red. I only know because on Goodreads, my Goodreads end of the year thing told me that my shortest book that I read this year was All Systems Red, which is book 1. It's 150.
Are they already telling us that now? Oh, that's probably why it's down,
tell you.
Dude. That makes sense why it's down because they're doing the.
Yeah.
They're trying to calculate
I think so.
Stuff. I mean, it still shouldn't go down, but
No, I mean, it's still just a horrible platform. Exactly. But yeah, man, started out strong. I liked book 1. I liked book 2, and then 3 and 4, which we recently read and reviewed. Just like we're just like kind of copy and paste in a lot of ways, but even less like
it slashed the tires for the series for me, man. I'm on the side of the road.
Like, this
empty,
would be
all tires blown out. I do not want to continue on this road.
Yeah, I mean, this is behind Edgedancer for me. Honestly, bro, this is behind God Emperor. This is the worst in the
dude. I'm so glad you said
for me.
That. I thought I was gonna have to fight you on that.
Dude, we're in sync, man. We are in sync, my dog.
I'm so glad. It is disappointing because the first book. What would you just put All Systems Red or whatever it is?
I mean, I gave it a 4. I gave it a 4 out of 5.
Is it better than Dynasty of Evil?
No.
Is it better than Sunlit Man?
No.
I don't think it is either, yeah. So that's what's tough, dude, is even the best one in it is probably like here.
Still C, yeah.
Yeah, so.
Yeah.
And, yeah, I
mean,
I didn't even like God Emperor of Dune, but I can understand and appreciate the literary elements that are in it that are way more valuable than whatever's going on in this. So just as a piece of literature, it's tough, dude. This is way better.
Yeah, I agree, and it's tough. Like that for us, we read like huge, long fantasy books, and then we also read history, nonfiction, which are also long but way more dense than fantasy books. So when we come across a 150-page book, like it's just tough to really get engaged and like dive into it and feel like you've got investment in something when you're reading it in one night on a bachelor trip. I mean, you and I both read the first 2 books. One night and then one the next night, I'm pretty sure. That's what I did. I think you did the same thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's just a shame that they've not been better. I still, the only difference of opinion I have on this is I still do want to read the rest of the series because I want to see, dude, I'm all about things getting better and things getting back to their better form when possible. She clearly is capable of writing an original, entertaining story, a short story, essentially. So...
Is she?
I mean,
I think she had a good idea, but she had one good idea, though. That's the only thing, dude. I feel like this was her best idea of all time, and now it was a good idea, but now, like, where I need another good idea.
Was that loud in your ears, what I just did?
No.
Okay.
I don't know.
So...
It's just been so disappointing. Anyway.
Yeah, it has. So in reviewing this, I mean...
Yeah, what do we think? Let's just go tier by tier. So... S tier, we have Oathbringer, Words of Radiance, The Hero of Ages, Dracula. Any changes?
Yeah, I mean that's cool. That works for me.
Okay. Now going to A tier, we have Rhythm of War, The Way of Kings, Mistborn, The Final Empire, Warbreaker, The Well of Ascension, Best Served Cold, The Hunger of the Gods, The Sword of Kaigen. What are our thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I can't speak to two of these books.
That's true. But the ones that are there...
The ones I have read, I mean, yeah, I wouldn't change that. The one that's toughest is where Warbreaker is.
Yeah, I agree.
And I'm fine with where it is, though, because I would just say that it's tough to say with not spoiling, but there are parallels in those two books that are both really nice and like really well written, but one of them is a part of a complete series and one of them's not. So it's like that might be part of the bias, but those books are neck and neck for me for sure. And The Well of Ascension, the only reason Well of Ascension is so good in my opinion, but just because it's the second and it's hard to beat that first book, that first great book in a series, and it just doesn't quite do it. Hero of Ages knocks it out of the water, but yeah, I mean, I'm cool with where the A tier's at. Are you good with where the ones you read are?
I don't know. I'm having some doubts now. It might be like this. Whoops. Sword of Kaigen might be better than Hunger of Gods. And then Best Served Cold. I think I actually like this a little more. The Sword of Kaigen, like, just when I think back on it, it's really hard for me to remember the things I didn't like. It felt like there were some grammatical errors early on, like in the first couple chapters. But, dude, it's just such a good story. And there's so many good elements. And it's just a shame this is a standalone. Like, because this honestly has the potential to be an S tier, like, world and, like, story / series. So that's the only... I don't know. I feel like I'm kind of slandering the Hunger of the Gods right now. Like, I feel like we haven't... I mean, it's good, but... Nah, this is fine. Because I'm going to be honest with you. If we're talking about John Gwynn's other works, which I know you haven't read, but I think they're better than the Hunger of the Gods. So, anyway.
Yeah. All right. Which... Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. All right. B, Shadow of the Gods, Lord of Chaos, Blood over Brighthaven, Three Body Problem, Red Country. I know... You haven't read two of these, but is Shadow of Gods, Blood over Brighthaven, Three Body, is that correct for you? Or, well, you had Three Body probably over these two, right? If this was just
I would probably, I mean, if it was just me, I'd probably have Three Body, like, at the top of the B list, to be completely honest. But,
I mean, I respect
I'm not
that.
totally against where it is, you know? Yeah, maybe throw it in front of Blood over Brighthaven, but I'm okay with where it's at.
Okay. So we have the Heroes, the Dynasty of Evil, Star Wars.
Sea Level.
And then, Sea Level. And then In the Shadow of Lightning, Dawnshard, The Sunlit Man, and Chapterhouse, Den.
It's
the Heroes. I guess the Heroes. We're getting into C tier now, so it's just like...
That's a little tougher.
I guess the Heroes is the top of that for me, is what I'm thinking. I know you didn't read that book, but I'm just trying to rationalize my decision right now.
Yeah, I'm fine with where these are of the ones I read. I didn't read two of them, but the ones I did, I'm cool with where the C
I don't know if I would have Dawnshard, like, just... I don't know. It's so
maybe
close.
Not in front of Sunlit.
Yeah, I don't know why. I can't even really give you a reason why. It's just, again, a feel thing. For
honestly,
some reason.
Honestly, I kind of agree. I could see Dawnshard going back either behind Sunlit or to the end. But I wouldn't put it down on D with
No. It's definitely
I think it's better than Edgedancer.
Yeah, that is... Oh, that's facts. And again, I don't even really know why. I just, for some reason, feel that way. This felt way more YA, even though seemingly this matters a ton. I mean, I know there's a lot in this that most likely matters a lot too, but anyway. All right, D tier, our last and final tier. We have Edgedancer, the God Emperor of Dune, and then just the Murderbot series as a whole. For us, through book 4, that is preface / asterisk.
Yeah, this is
fine with me.
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
I mean, and that's just... It really is shocking, and not to just beat a dead horse, but the Murderbot Diaries is just a tragedy. Like, because of how far it falls, which again, it is wild to then think like it maybe was only here, but I wonder if it was only one book, maybe it would be here in B. For some reason, like, even though book A or the first book, it's the other books just bring down the first book, if that somehow is possible. Like,
yeah, I agree. Even the first two, I would say, like, are both like fine.
Yeah, the second one I was
the first
still
one's
interested.
better, but yeah,
the third one's when it gets bad. The third one literally is irrelevant.
The third one's the worst out of the four for me.
Oh yeah.
Third one's terrible. It's just like a worse version of the first or the second book.
The prologue of the fourth one or whatever. I mean, it could have been one chapter.
Yes. Yeah, it was ridiculous.
Yeah, that was
and then they keep referring to it in the fourth book like it was some amazing event that occurred, and I just get pissed every time I bring it up. I'm like, oh my God. Stop reminding me of the third book. So yeah, man, I like where our list is. Number one, number one overall is Oathbringer, and I mean, this is in my top 3 books of all time, so I'm not surprised by this. Oathbringer is amazing. We're obviously big Cosmere, Brandon Sanderson fans. But yeah, this list, I think we'll have more. Yeah, we're definitely gonna have more than 20 or so books on our list. Oh wow, that's not bad. I think we'll probably have more next year as far as fantasy. Right?
That's also combining. Well, I mean, these should be combined, but because they're so small.
Right.
But yeah, we'll have more than this. This is just the beginning.
Just the beginning. So if you're still watching, thanks for sticking around. Comment what you think about our list. If you agree with it, if you don't, what books are in your S class, S tier, whatever you may call it. If you're listening on a podcast app, like, subscribe, follow, do all the things, and we will see you guys. It's probably already 2024 when this comes out. It definitely is, because this is the last day of 23 here. So
subscribe.
Actually, Happy New Year. Subscribe.
Follow us on Instagram.
Follow us on the gram. Go find us on MySpace.
Yeah.
And that's it.
And then tell us if for some reason you think we should do short form content.
Yeah. If you like to see shorter stuff, or if you prefer the longer videos, if you think we should discuss other things, whatever your thoughts are. What you want to see is what we want to provide. All right. We'll see you on the next one. Peace.